What's up guys? Today we're going to be checking out Jurassic World Dominion on 4K Blu-ray. We're not going to talk about how good or bad the movie is. I'm just going to share some of my thoughts on the audio and video quality. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 8K, 35 and 65mm film and VistaVision.
So other than that, we shot 65, 4x 35, which is what we did on Jurassic World. And on this one, just out of sheer luck, they had two VistaVision Bocam cameras.
It's got a 4K DI. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 161 minutes and the aspect ratio is 2:1. So it's got small letterbox bars. And the audio is in DTS-X. I know a lot of folks like DTS-X over Dolby Atmos and they think it's better, so let's take a look at the channel meters and see how active this mix is. In Chapter 9, we get this big No Time to Die-esque motorcycle chase with the dinosaurs, which does get a lot of effects moving through the lower channels. But as you can see, those 4 empty meters that aren't moving, those are the high channels. You'd think for such a big action scene, you'd hear a ton of overhead activity, but there's barely anything going on up there. And the same goes for the opening of the movie. You get nothing up top, and even this scene with Andy chasing down the dino in the field, there's nothing going on there as well. Although when Claire is sneaking around in the quietness trying to rescue a baby dinosaur, there's all kinds of overhead activity. So quiet scenes get heavy action up top, but not the big action scenes. Now, it's not as bad as it seems, cause things do pick up once we get into the third act. In Chapter 11, you'll hear the flying dino fly overhead when it attacks the plane, so it sounds like it's actually flying above your head. In Chapter 12, there's some excellent ambiance, as you can hear the dino stalking Claire. Foot stomps are going to be in the lower channels with its breathing in the high channels. It's a pretty cool effect. As for bass response, well, Jurassic Park is known to carry a lot of bass down low from all the dinosaurs running around. And this movie is no exception. It's got a ton of hard-hitting, house-rumbling LFE. The dinos running down the field in Chapter 3 will sound like you've got real dinosaurs trampling down your house. Well, pretty much anytime there's dinosaurs running amok, you're gonna feel those footsteps vibrate through your floor and up your seats. If you've got some capable subwoofer, there's a ton of room-shaking bass throughout the entire movie. And the dialogue was always clean and clear and always easy to hear. If you're new to the channel and you're into new movies and audio and video gear and want to see more content like this, be sure to tap the subscribe button for new weekly videos. For video quality, remember, this was shot on film, so there is a fine layer of grain through the entire movie. If you're a grain hater, then you might be bothered by it. The only part that was shot in 8K was the scene that takes place in the cave.
There's one sequence in the movie that's shot digitally, and that was only because Colin changed his mind about a light source. I said, can we shoot this on large format digital? And then Sam can hold that torch, and that'll be the only light source in the scene.
Since there is plenty of grain, this isn't going to be a 4K crispy transfer. However, it's still very detailed and a noticeable improvement over the 1080p Blu-ray. In fact, I found certain scenes to be so clean, it exposes when things are taking place clearly on a set rather than out in the real world. Claire crawling on the ground surrounded by fake plants kinda took me out of the movie. Even some of the animatronics look noticeably fake, as well as some of the CG. That's not to say the transfer looks bad, it's just saying that with such high resolution, it's easier to notice some of the effect's shortcomings. As for the HDR, which is in Dolby Vision, I found this to be a fairly bright transfer. It's not as bright as Aquaman, but it's not overly dim either. The color palette also isn't going to blow you away with vivid HDR colors since the colors are pretty subdued. It's got a grayish, warmish look through the entire movie, and the black levels stay gradationally smooth without crushing detail down low, although they can appear somewhat murky in some areas. The specular highlights also stay well controlled without getting too bright, but also not clipping any highlight detail. Overall, it's a great looking movie that's got a cinematic feel and should look great on your display. If I had to give it a score, I'd have to go with an 8.6. For audio, I'm gonna go with an 8.8. It's a fun audio mix with very active lower channels. Surround movement was great, but I would have expected more high channel usage during some of the bigger action scenes. Bass response, I'd say, is the best part of this mix and will give your subs a hefty workout. It's a great looking and sounding movie, and I think a worthy addition to your Jurassic World collection. So what are your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion on 4K Blu-ray? Have you seen it, and did you think it was the best out of the last 3 movies? Leave your comment down below and let me know. Now, if you do want to grab this movie, I'll leave some links down below in the video's description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media, and if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content or great discounts on audio and video gear, then stop by our Patreon page. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next video.